All right, so we are live on Facebook. Welcome, Kevin. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I heard you got a flat tire the other day.
Oh yes, it was a joyous day. Allow me to regale you with this story. So I think it was Wednesday morning. Yeah, Wednesday morning. The day it was raining really hard.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning. Yeah. So I leave for work about 5:15 from the house. I live down in Yulee. So I'm driving to work, and traffic starts to slow on I-95 South. There's not a whole lot of cars there earlier in the morning. I notice traffic's kind of slowing down a little bit, and I see that it looks like there's a wreck ahead of me, and I notice two cars are pulled over to the left-hand side of the road, and there's about 3 cars ahead of me. Looks like there's a car like sideways in the side of the road, and cars are starting to go around it. So just like everybody else, I go around it too, and I get about a quarter of a mile down the road, and my low pressure tire light comes on, and I'm like, "Oh man, are you serious?" And it's like, because normally it's like 35 pounds in the tires, and it's reading like 27.
Those are handy.
25.
Those are handy. Yeah.
Right. And I'm
80s and 90s is like, no, you're on your own, bro.
Yeah, right. You just have to listen to the. So I'm like, oh, and then like traffic really is like starting to slow down. So I get over, and I'm right before the Gulf Air exit, right before you go across the bridge, right there. And so I stop, I get out, and it is pouring rain. And
do you have a rain jacket or anything? You have a rain jacket?
No,
or like
no.
Just,
I had my flannel on.
Oh, okay.
Right? I had my flannel on.
So nice and absorbent.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. And so I get out and check it, and sure enough, like as I walk over to it, I can hear the tire. And I put my hand over there, and it's like right in the center of the tire. It's my right rear tire. And so I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. So I got a Toyota 4Runner, and I get the jack out, which it comes with a bottle jack that's standard, right? And it's not, in my opinion, the best thing to have.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Right, and I get the spare tire lowered, get it all up and done. I crack loose the lug nuts, get the bottle jack, and you got to think I'm on the side of the road, which the shoulder has got like an angle to it. I don't have any chalking or anything, like I don't have like a 4x4 or anything like that, nothing like that. And I'm like, oh man, and it's raining, it's wet, all that stuff. And so like, I'm just gonna see if I can do this. And I get it up under there. I get get it jacked up. I take the lug nuts off, and as in the process, I'm taking the tire off, and it falls off the jack. So luckily enough, it doesn't it fell kind of onto the tire, right? So I didn't get the tire all the way out of the way. It almost fell on me, but like I got this kind of the tire in the way, and so it just falls on that. And I'm like, ugh, I'm done with it. So like, there's not much I can do. I can't get it jacked back up. So I call roadside assistance, and just literally as soon as I get off the phone with the roadside assistance, a state trooper pulls up behind me, and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Well, I've had better days, you know."
Wonderful.
And he's like, he's like, I'm trying to remember if I have a floor jack at my house. It's literally close by, or it's at my other house. And so I'm like, well, I mean, he's like, either way, he's like, I'm gonna go check. He's like, either way, I'll be back. So he leaves, and he comes back, and he's like, bad news, man. It's at my other house. It's not there. And he's like, but the road ranger guy is just up the road changing somebody else's tire. So hopefully he'll get done soon. He'll be down here to help you out. And I'm like, okay. And when I called the roadside assistance guy, he's like, hey man, it's gonna take me like 45 minutes to get to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. And like I think the worst part of the whole thing was like being on the side of the road in the dark, in the rain, and trying to change this. And like you see those videos of like people like I've got my flashers on, but like people just ignoring them and like sliding off the side of the road because for whatever reason and running it. Like I was honestly like doing like 2 seconds worth of like adjusting something and then looking back to see if like I was gonna get hit. Yeah. And then seriously, scary, it was I was like looking back behind me, and then I noticed like traffic is like slowing down a lot, especially for obviously everybody's trying to get to work, blah blah blah.
Right.
Blah.
Yeah.
But I see the road ranger guy passes me, right, and I'm like, this dude did not just like see me, because I'm standing at this point in time. I can't do anything, and I'm not going to sit back in the car because that's dangerous to sit back in the car and wait. So I'm standing on the side of the road, like on the other side of the guardrail, waiting, just waiting in the rain. And I'm like, he did not just pass me. And literally, like, he passes me, and like 2 minutes later, the roadside assistance guy pulls up and gets the floor jack out, jacks it up, boom, 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 done. And I was like, yeah, man, the road ranger guy, he's like, he passed you because there's like the reason traffic is stopped is there's a wreck. Yeah. Down the way, and
I guess they had to prioritize a little.
As I get that, and I think the cherry on top of it all was like literally like like as I had got the flat tire, I pull over, and I pop the back hatch to start getting everything out, and the old tummy goes to rumbling, right? And I'm like, and so I had to deal with that for 2 hours, right? Just no relief, and
coffee kicked in.
Yeah, the Metamucil and the energy drink kicked in because I'm old.
Okay. That was my first question. How old are you?
I'm 39. But
D. Paul Fleming. Anybody know who that is?
D. Paul Fleming.
Great to see you guys up and running.
D. Paul Fleming.
Thank you.
If I know you, I don't recognize the
because it's under mine with you guys tag. But thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
So my keys got locked inside of my car a couple days ago while I was getting gas. All right, so I leave everything on, not the engine, but I leave the car on. Yeah. I opened my door, did not shut my door. I went to go do the gas, and that wind shut my door. So I start cursing, and my phone was stuck inside. I had nothing. I was stuck right outside of it. So then I had to get other people, which helped me out, which I appreciated. They called the police, and I did not know that the police can help you out with your car. Well, Goose Creek Police can help you out with your car being locked.
Oh yeah, they got the little wedge in there, and boop, boop, boop.
That's all they did. Yeah.
Goose Creek. So that's South Carolina.
South Carolina, 20, 30 minutes right outside. Charleston Joint Base is not in Navy fashion. Is not in the said town. So they did it. So I've been watching a lot of First Amendment honors. I'm not going to get into it, but the first thing the guy is, can I see your ID? And First Amendment, when it's somebody saving you $80, $90, $150, here you go, sir. Here you go. Here's my ID.
I have no problem.
And then he did. Nice guy. John, you don't remember me? I mean, you...
Dave Leach, I do remember you, Dave. Dave, I can remember one of the best stories ever is the bilge crab on the USS Houston. Like, I hope you're still listening to this right now, but that was you, right? I don't even know if you might not remember that, but you and Lee Farr and Dow Douthit, that's probably some of the best memories of being on board a submarine that I've ever got. You guys raised me to be an A-ganger, and I take thank you very, very much. But no, the bilge crab incident on board the Houston was great.
And he said, laugh out loud, and I am.
Yep.
So
Good stuff. You talk about having a flat tire. I heard that they were starting to sell cars nowadays without a spare. Is that true? Have you guys heard that?
Yeah, I heard they're starting to on certain ones to save time, money, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could, but like, is it just expected that everybody has like AAA or roadside assistance, and that like, you just don't really need a spare tire?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I also if you don't know, the electric cars, apparently their tires are bigger, heavier because they're a lot heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's causing more damage. Let's not get into electrical cars. That'll piss a lot of people off. But I have heard that. So you were asking about Charleston and where the barracks at. Another thing that happened is the hotel keys. You know how you have a card?
Yeah.
You need one to get into the front door, and you need one to get into your room.
Okay.
So you're following me, right? So I was getting ready to take a shower, and I locked it. So I had to get help. It was a big nightmare, but I was there with the towel.
I was going to say, you're standing in the hallway with the towel, and
Yes.
nice.
Now, luckily, it was quick. They were able to get help. But
and they were like, "Oh, this happens all the time."
Yes, that's exactly what they said. Remember that story?
So what about Catsfall? Catsfall?
Oatsfall.
Oh, Oatsfall.
Oatsville, yeah.
Oatsville. Oh, okay. So I can't see through anything, man. Oatsville.
That's a person, I guess.
Dave, is that a person?
Hey, give us more information. All right. While we're waiting for that, quick article. Navy allows boot camp recruits to use personal cell phones to make calls to family at home. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I know when I went through, it was calling cards. We had calling cards for everything. If anybody doesn't understand what a calling card is, you just had to prepay money for a certain amount of time in minutes on like an AT&T or MCI, I think was one of the other companies.
I think it was AT&T or
stuff like that.
Yeah.
At some point, Virgin Mobile started doing minute cards and things like that. You could add to your cell phone when cell phones started coming out. But yeah, cell phones weren't just everywhere. A lot of people had them, I think, at that point.
No,
it was early 2000s.
No, I can remember using going to when I was in boot camp, going over. They called it Ricky Heaven. There's
Ricky Heaven,
Ricky
yeah.
Heaven, right? And going over there and
there was a room.
Yeah, it was a room, and it had just a banks of phones, pay phones in it, and you could go in there and.
You dial the number on the card.
Yeah, you dial the number on the card, and then you had to put the number on the card, and then the code that was on the back of the card, and it had so many minutes loaded onto this card.
It would tell you.
It would tell you how many.
You
minutes
have 29 minutes remaining.
Yeah. But and you got to do that. I think I only did it maybe 4 times the whole time I was there, and I think that was including the phone call home that.
I know there was a separate room for that. I remember because you went in there and it was again a bank of phones. They were all around the wall, around the outside edge, and I think those just dialed out though. I don't think you needed a card for that. And yeah, I remember that call home too because it went to voicemail or something.
Yeah.
I was like.
You were screwed.
I can't believe this is happening to me.
And there's a chief and 2 other first-class petty officers yelling in my face, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just staring at them. And then they stopped, and they were like, "Did you get a hold of somebody?"
No.
And I said, "No, it just went to voicemail." They're like, "Pick up the phone again." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You're ordering me to pick up the phone. Okay."
Yeah.
Luckily, I ended up talking to my wife.
No, I'm glad that they're doing Yeah, obviously it's just different day and age and stuff like that. And I totally, like it says in the article, they don't get to keep them all the time. They're locked away.
Right.
They're allowed to get them at only certain points in time. They're to be able to call their family members. Because a lot of sailors nowadays, they have children, stuff like that, to keep in touch with them.
Yep.
They're not allowed to use any other apps or face calling or anything. They're allowed to use it to call home. And you got to think if those phone banks are still there today, they're
Ancient.
they're
Yeah.
ancient, right? They're ancient, right? So like it's easier for them to develop, and I think it even says in there at some point in time they're going to have the ability for the lockers that they're kept in to be able to charge their phones,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it only makes sense that you be able to take the device that you've already got there and be able to use it to call home.
It's got the phone number in it.
It's got the phone number in it. You don't have to memorize it or anything.
Yeah, folks nowadays don't memorize anything.
Folks nowadays don't memorize phone. Like I still remember my mom and dad's home phone number, like from when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
But like nowadays, this generation doesn't memorize phone numbers. They just don't. So
I mean, so you got to remember though. So like when I went in 2010, I knew how to use a calling card and a pay phone. You really think these new kids, what's a calling card? And they have to, how many issues did they have teaching these kids?
Yeah,
And finally
absolutely.
somebody said, duh.
yeah.
And then I'm sure they're going to take that room down with all those phones. They can do some other things
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
it.
They
So,
should do.
and like you said, they don't have their phones with them all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's only when they make their phone calls, they're just using their
And I
cell
guarantee
phone.
you, it's probably only on Sunday. Like 'cause Sunday was normally like what was it we call holiday routine.
Holiday
Holiday
routine, yeah.
routine. And because most of the time, like on Sunday that you'd go to church or something like that. And
Polish your boots.
Yeah, polish your boots. Yeah, I think that's what I did most of the time on Sunday was you have competitions with everybody polishing your boots and stuff like that.
Remember that story. Mike and I picked him up, and I convinced him to hook up with a man without knowing it. It was a man in Guam.
I do remember
You
that.
do?
Dave.
Okay, all
I do
right.
remember that story, Dave.
Care to
And that
elaborate?
was. I can only.
Look like a man.
I can.
looked
Yeah,
like a woman, I
because you
suppose.
picked him up. If I remember correctly, you picked him up from a bar, and he was a very, very annoying dude. And he was already drunk, and you picked him up, and you dropped him off with one of the mahoos. And yeah, I do remember that day. I can only remember little bits of that, but I do remember that day. And that was very, very funny.
Joking.
Good old days.
All right, Kevin, I heard you and a deer a couple days ago.
A couple. Well, yeah,
Oh,
it's been a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Little bit
Care to
back, but
elaborate?
yeah, I had to get a new car. I guess my automobile story.
That was a nice car, though.
It was.
Yeah.
So actually, I mean, I've been married for going on 22 years.
Oh, wow.
And we went to, what was it? I won't say the actual dealership, but it was a Volkswagen dealership. And we decided to get new vehicles. My truck was just chewing through gas, and we had a Jeep at that time. We actually bought a 2018 Atlas and a 2018 Jetta at the same time. First cars we ever bought that were new. So it was kind of a proud moment. But I was almost done with payments on that Jetta. It was a black Jetta. It was a SEL, I think. So it had the leather interior, sunroof, alloy wheels. It didn't have those like hubcaps or whatever. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice. I know it's a Jetta, but yeah, I mean, I was not long away from paying that thing off, and we're busy one night at the house. Just bought a new house. Had been in it maybe a year, maybe not quite a year. Doing some painting. I was doing something else outside, and I came in. My wife wasn't quite done with what she was going to do, so I said, well, we'll scrap the idea we had for dinner because it's already getting late. I'm going to go get pizza. So I go out in town. I think I went all the way out to maybe Papa John's or something like that, because they don't deliver out where we were. So yeah, I get in the car, head on the way back home. It was dusky when I left the house, so it was pretty dark by the time I'm heading back through. And it's about 55 down that main road going back to the house. And just out of nowhere, I caught a glimpse of it out of the corner of my eye, but out of nowhere, this deer is like leaping. He's either leaping over the road or he saw me and he was trying to leap over the car. But I just kind of I kind of grabbed the wheel. I leaned in a few inches to my left, kind of hugging up against the door, and it just like a sack of potatoes, just bam, right into the windshield. Missed the headlights, the hood, everything, but the whole top of the car was just mangled. Blew out the electronics and everything.
That's crazy.
In the upper. I mean, it was jarring. It was like if you ever been on a roller coaster and you just like whip around a corner and you're like, oh damn, like kind of like that. Like it just, you know. But I didn't slam on the brakes. I didn't freak out, and the airbags didn't deploy. So I felt like I was okay, but I kind of limped it over the side of the road, stopped, put it in park, and I did that assessment of like, all right, am I leaking from any orifice or anything? Is blood still in my body?
Yeah.
It was very, very jarring. But
5 pints or whatever it is still in your body. Yeah.
And I called, actually, so the first person I called was the wrong number because we had just changed our insurance when we bought the house.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to have USAA, but when we grouped through another company, we went with Allstate, and we bundled everything together. So now our insurance was on another account. I still had a USAA checking account. So I call USAA, and they said, we don't have any record of you having insurance with us right now. Did you want to start a policy? I'm like,
No.
No, I'm sitting on the side of the road.
Read the room, bro.
It's a day late and $1 short over here with it.
Like I'm looking at a hole and a bunch of glass and deer shit and blood and stuff all over the place. It was crazy. And so I called the other number, called Allstate, and they said, well, do you need a tow? After we kind of worked out some stuff and what had happened, and they asked me 20 or 25 other questions. They said, well, we can get an adjuster to call you and talk to you in the morning. We can do pictures and video. You just need to get it to a safe place. Are you going to be able to make it home, or do you need a tow truck? And I said, well, I'm only really a mile away from my house, so I guess I can probably just drive it home. So I kind of had to Ace Ventura it with my head like out the window because the windshield is all kind of mangled up. I couldn't really see.
And your
through
hair
it.
probably looked like him by then, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Imagine you pulling into the garage like a glove.
No, yeah, the look on my wife's face was terror. She was like, I can't believe you made it out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Of that car, because I've got pictures too, and I can post them. But to beat it all, like I finally get in the garage and I'm parking, and I put it in park, and it's a push to start, and I go to hit the push to stop the engine, and the button will not retract because there's glass all in the grooves all around the button. So I had to kind of dig it out with my pocket knife so that it would actually retract and the engine would stop, so I could go in the house and actually get some sleep. But luckily, actually most of the pizza was okay. I think we actually did end up eating the pizza, but the box was just covered in hair, and we had to be very careful opening it. Otherwise, it just would have been a disaster. But
would you say it looked like it looked like the Ford Cruise head right before you pull in with all the hair?
Yeah.
I got wrong haircuts.
Oh, and when the showers clog every. Anyways.
No, that's worse. That's
all right, we got some follow-ups here. This mic. Okay, so
hold on a second.
John, you look so good, I guess. Who's Zach Wilson?
That's Zach. Wait, John, you look so good, I guess. I don't understand what you have to guess about. This is 268 pounds of bearded, red-blooded American male.
America.
So I don't know what you need to guess about, Zach.
You're gross. Who's that? Who's this?
That's my wife.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Talking to Zach. And I think that they're selling me off.
I'm not gross. Wanna feel that beard on my tenderloins?
I think I'm getting sold off.
He's gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I'm being sold off because she
Want to
said
come over after he's available for the prior. But so wait a minute, I get a cut of this for today. I don't know. Well, finder's fee. No.
about full frontal. So that's Zach and Jenna going back and forth.
Nice.
Can I comment on this?
You're gonna type a comment? Nice.
All right, so you might. Well, you remember Ash Chrysler, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna make this. So I'm not making fun of you, but I am. I used to wear this underway, and if you can't see it, is a ghetto superstar.
Yep.
100% ghetto. So he's a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Nick Brutal.
Nick Brutal
Nick
yeah.
Brutal
Oh,
used
Nick
to
Brutal.
get mad that I would wear this underway.
2-belt champ.
And I used to say, underway is very... Why do you wear this underway? Well, underway is very depressing. This guy actually gets wins. So this is my motivation underway.
Yeah.
Nick Brutal did not like that comment.
Yikes.
Oh, my God.
Nick Brutal. That was some... Watching him walk around Crew's Mess and on like halfway night was just... That was great. Like...
Yeah.
Chuck.
Charles Knight.
I was going to say,
Hey,
yeah.
what's up, Chuck? I miss you, buddy.
Is that
Nick
Doc?
Brutal, baby.
Is that Doc? Doc Knight?
Yeah, it's Doc Knight. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
So, I think that was before me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think I only served with him for just a little bit. And then Doc Tapia came along.
Can you pick up some laundry detergent on your... Oh,
Certainly. I can pick up laundry detergent on the way home.
This is what
Definitely
we're using
can.
this for, to communicate and get laundry. Get maybe some Zaxby's on the way too, or
It's definitely in my wheelhouse.
yeah. Mine, but he will.
We were laughing earlier because you're very welcome. We were laughing earlier because my middle son, or my middle child, I guess, my eldest son, the port at the bottom of his iPhone stopped charging. It doesn't work anymore. And I guess it never occurred to us that we should just invest in a wireless charger. But a friend of his came over and he had a wireless charger. So, well, here, try this. And his phone started charging. He said, okay, it'll still charge. It's just the port is kind of messed up. Well, he sent me his fleeting attempt, I guess, to get a message out on his watch. But it didn't connect for some reason. I didn't get his text until it was 3 hours after I was already home. And he sends my wife a text and says, hey, while you're out, can you pick me up a charger? And so she came home and she's like, I'm not just out. I'm at work. Like, I'm not just running about town. But that's the thing. I was. So he sent me the same message. I was actually out running errands and doing stuff and going to appointments.
All right. So remember when we made fun of Cobb Has the Con? Mm-hmm. We were wrong.
Yes. Yeah. So
I remember reading that.
Okay. Did you? All right. So apparently, and
specific situations or whatever.
they were allowed, and then they changed it. So pretty interesting. Dan Bello said the same thing. There was a time where they could. So we were wrong.
That's really cool. I did not know that.
We
I
didn't
guess
know.
just my 20 years of experience in the
Yeah.
there are a lot more seasoned people out there than me, and I will be the first to admit it. That's fine. I just had never seen it and never even heard of it. So that's really cool, though. That's
Yeah, because
awesome.
we're making fun of everything with our standards.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cobb has
with
the
my
con
standards and
us.
experience.
It's like, that sounds silly to some people. They're hands in pockets.
Like payphone.
What's a payphone?
You don't have to pay for a phone, do you?
So this guy sent me his picture and this story, but this is him. This is the challenge. I forgot, but this got posted in a newspaper, and somebody from DC called the CO, his CO, to tell him to not have his hands in pockets. So I don't know what to say to that. So interesting story.
That's wow.
And I forgot where. There was a bunch of comments, but apparently a lot of people didn't even know that was a policy. Some of the old timers did not know the hands in pockets.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, I didn't even know. So anyways, that's that.
Well, it's like that with tattoos, too. That was a thing for the longest, but every movie you've ever seen has guys with tattoos and stuff all over them. And
Yeah.
they actually had to tell us, hey, okay, it's all right if you have tattoos. It's fine.
Now I'm wondering if we ask Ash Chrysler, I wonder who would show up.
Oh.
Nick Brutal or Ash Chrysler? We should have him here one
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
We need to.
just to see who shows up.
Yeah.
just to
We'll set up a fourth microphone here.
Yeah.
Just
Just to
just
see.
let this happen.